Hello everybody, I am Tom and you are watching me play Divinity Original Sin 2. On the last episode, Melody pulled off some pretty incredible source magic and pulled us into the Hall of Echoes, which is... like... heaven? Somewhere between, like, the realm of what one might consider heaven or hell and then the material plane, as it were. It's kind of hard to describe, to be perfectly honest. But, since she's done that, she's now... everyone is headed downstairs, I believe. I'm just checking if there's anyone in here. I don't think there is. I think they're all downstairs. Looks like it. Down here somewhere. In fact, go this way, a bit quicker. Wait, did I run past everyone? Yeah, I did. Oh yeah. Our other companions may have,
It's so cold. I haven't felt cold in centuries. What happened? I just remember... Oh no. No, that can't be right.
You're afraid it is. Tell him he's dead.
This is... wonderful. What a fascinating experience.
Hello, Fane.
I will be able to spend eternity studying you creatures. No more having to watch from the shadows. No more having to walk mysterious social tightropes.
The skeleton pulls a notebook from the folds of his robes and starts scribbling. As you walk away, you hear him muttering about Observations on the Mortal Races, Volume 1.
Fane seems to be alright with death. Hey, Beast.
People are going to perish. People are going to die and I can't stop it. She'll do it now. She'll never stop. She'll never stop.
I'm sorry for Beast.
Sabiel's spirit watches your approach like a spectator on a beach watches the waves roll in with a soothing inevitability.
There we have it, don't we, dear? The final die has been cast and it's come up wanting.
Say you'd very much hoped for a better role.
You have what you hope for you still live. Forsake me now. Go hence and give chase to your mortal desires. From death, let me be death.
Sabiel seems to... or Sabiel seems to actually accept it as well. Ifan isn't here? I don't know why. I think maybe I didn't ever speak to Ifan, so he didn't show up here? I don't know, that's weird. I feel like he should be there.
I can't keep this up much longer. We need to go.
Look around the hold. Some people are missing. Ask her where they
Zeke
are.
is dead, Alexander missing, God-woken passengers deceased.
Fair enough.
And unless you want to die too, we need to go. Now.
I have some questions.
There's no time. I can't hold us here. Brace yourself. This might hurt.
Fair enough.
A lot.
Throws us back into the material plane. I love their style of cutscene here. Like the sort of painted, layered painting. It's really cool.
Echoes clung to the Lady Vengeance as it returned to the shores of Reaper's Coast. The Godwoken were alive, but what of the gods?
I forgot to start my timer. Oh, right, we're back.
Solid ground materializes beneath your feet. Your weight falls back into your body all at once, and bright sunlight stings your eyes.
I skipped that the loading screen for you.
You realize you're still aboard the Lady Vengeance.
I'm going to speed this up a bit.
One moment, please.
Melody explodes in a fit of
I want to do
rage
these
that
conversations,
rocks
and
her
it's hard to
body.
do them if we're
At
not
last,
fast enough.
She sneezes and expels a glob of something shiny and silver onto the deck. It wriggles quickly off the siding and plummets into the sea with a splash.
Better. Let's not do that again anytime soon.
That's an easy deal.
Very good. I'll feel far less put upon if you tell me you learned something useful on our little field trip.
Tell her you're not sure. You met one of the gods again. They seemed desperate.
Desperate how?
Describe to her everything you saw and heard in the Hall of
I
Echoes.
see. So, Your god seemed uncharacteristically frightened, told you the void was coming, and that only you could ascend to divinity, after which you felt a cold deep within you. Well then, it sounds like you need to ascend, doesn't it? And quickly.
She inspects her fingernails with great attention, then looks up at you from under an arched eyebrow.
Did they mention how you were meant to become the next divine?
Say you understood you were meant to grow your powers, but you're not entirely sure where to start.
Oh, what confidence you inspire. Luckily for you, Mama Malady is here to help. We already know you can bless, but as far as I know, you can neither see source nor take it as you see fit.
Kind of true.
I don't know much about divinity, but I do know that any godwoken worth their salt will know how to perform all these oh so fantastic feats. You need to go see the Meister.
Tell her to think again. You've cast source spells before, and you've taken source in order to do so.
As have I, but not in the ways a true godwoken can. Forget those ghastly little jars and wands to which small people must resort. You ought to be able to see and speak to the spirits that wander our realm, and you ought to be able to extract the source they leave behind, too. All this just by your little old onesie. No devices, no gimmicks. When you're done, you'll be able to amass and unleash quantities of source so great that Lucian himself would blush. I quite look forward to seeing it.
Ask where she can find this Meister.
She's got one of those things in Driftwood, you know, the building where people go and they do things inside of it. Home, that's it. She's got a home in Driftwood. Give me your map. There you are. Tell her I sent you and she'll handle the rest.
It's an interesting line there, because it sounds like the idea that she wouldn't know what a home is ridiculous, but I think she's just being a sarcastic, sassy bitch, which, you know, fits her
You're at the beginning
quite
of a
well.
long journey, Godwoken. Long, but exceedingly interesting. Now, I must be going, and so must you.
Ask where she's off to.
Shopping.
Alright then, take your leave.
Before you go, if I'm not back by the time you find out where our journey takes us next, you can call me back here. Tell the ship. She'll know how to summon me.
It's interesting, that.
And in the unlikely case you don't manage to do whatever it is you'll need to do to become what you need to become, you could call me, but I would be grateful if it doesn't come to that.
That's very interesting, that. Because it is technically possible to fail all these things. I'm gonna steal the source that Melody vomited up.
Damn it, is nowhere safe. Red-robed lunatics at sea, those void-woken seedlings in the swamp. It all points to the great acorn. It's coming, Quackus. What if it's too late, What if the Knights of Dre are too far ahead in their plans?
The Knights of Dre? Who are you talking about?
At least here, our shield's ignorance can be forgiven, Quackus. The Knights of Dre do not go out of their way to boast about their existence. You know their order, my friend. Mystic Squirrel Knights, sworn to the great acorn, trying to bring about its return.
They're fucking Squirrel Templars, essentially.
The squirrel absent-mindedly runs a paw over Quercus'.
Squirrel Illuminati.
The air fills with the sound of soft, dusty purring.
They plan to inherit the everlasting forest once the acorn drops, and the world is rid of all giants. They believe that only the arboreal will, and should, survive.
Ask how he intends to combat such a nefarious plan.
I don't know. I am trying, of course. But how does one battle a power like the great acorn? The Knights of Dre are a dangerous order. Lunatics. A single-minded devotion to bringing about the end of the world. Together, Quercus, we can develop some magic to save us from the great acorn, if our shield can keep us alive. Yes, it has done an admirable job so far. It certainly lasted longer than I thought it would. But does it understand that we could be wiped out at any moment? Does it understand the risk?
He can trust us.
Trust. Do you remember trust, Quercus? I'm not sure I do.
It's funny to hear a jaded squirrel.
Well, yes, of course I trust you, Quercus. You're different. But perhaps we should show a little faith in our shield, too.
The squirrel reaches out and touches your ankle, sending a hot flush rippling through your body. Your mind's eye sees new potential spells swirling before it.
Now, listen carefully, shield. The plan is thus. Do not die. If the shield can hold up its end of the bargain, we might just have a chance to complete our research. We might make it yet, Quercus.
So he just told us some new spell recipes. I'm not entirely sure what spell recipes. Whoops. Thank you, Cortana. Bloody Windows showing me updates that I do not care about. It's supposed to turn them off when I'm in full screen in a game or in a video, but it's like, oh, I kept these things from showing up to you, but it really doesn't. It's really annoying. It brags about how good it is while failing to do what it's supposed to. Hey, Gareth. You are on death's door, buddy. Well, you're not on death's door, but you're hurt.
Hail, friend, and remember, in Lucian's love there can be no wrong.
What are your plans from here?
Paradise awaits, my friend. Not an actual paradise, of course. I don't think there's such a place in all of Rivellon. Paradise Downs. My parents still sow the soil there. And if the Order hadn't called me to its ranks, I'd still call their farm my home. I miss it. I miss them. They've been forever understanding of my duty. But I admit, I've been neglectful. I have some wrongs to right.
Do you really have to quit Lucian so often?
Only as often as I need his guidance, Godlord. When I invoke Lucian's words, I invoke his deeds too. He stood for the defenseless when the Black Ring rose up. For all of us. For my mother, my father.
Gareth's nostalgia lasts for just a moment longer. He composes himself, clears his throat, and waits for your next question.
He knows what's next for him, but what's next for us?
I expect Malady has an answer to that. It seems she's got it all in hand.
Doesn't like her much, which, fair enough. So he has some nice spells for us. Notably Earthquake. Do you know Fortify? You do already know Fortify, good to know. Contamination, I don't really want. Mend Metal, Poison Dart, Poison Wave, Fossil Strike, probably worth it. I like Reactive Armor, but I don't think it's probably worth it on this build. Impalement is good, Worm Tremor is good. I don't think I need any of these. Phoenix Dive is nice, but I'm probably never going to use it. I think I just straight pay with cash here. I don't really have anything I want to sell. Alrighty then. So, there's a couple of these I want you to learn straight off. Earthquake, yes. Worm Tremor, yes. Impalement, yes. And Fossil Strike, I guess yes as well. Just learn that immediately. Obviously we don't have room for them yet, but we will sooner or later. We're gonna have to invest in some points later on. It's also worth noting, you can talk to Han here and he'll run out and get you items. So you can say, oh, go get me this item, and he'll go and do it, which is nice. I'm not particularly worried, I don't really care about any of the items he would get me, but... Hello, Tarquin.
I hadn't realized I was in such illustrious company when we met before. Most fascinating, the things I've been hearing about you.
Wonder exactly what it is he's heard.
That you're, how did Malady put it again? A god-woken. Yes, that's it. Quite remarkable if it's true.
Wonder why something like this would be an interest to him.
Come now. You've seen the state of things. A potential savior from all this void-woken nonsense would be of interest to everyone with a beating heart. And some without, I would imagine.
It's very true that every word coming out of his mouth makes him seem like he has hidden motives, but I'm not going to say that. Ask if this alters his opinion of how.
Tarquin pauses, taking you in. Genial smile and calculating eyes.
We may not have always seen perfectly eye to eye, but that would be the makings of a truly dull relationship anyway, don't you think?
Norton say relationships are like a game of chess, which of course you always win.
A wise attitude. Most wise. I'm sure we can build something magnificent on these foundations.
Two cynical assholes discussing their friendship, and it's like, oh yeah, as long as we both get something out of it, I'm all good. Remark that many aboard the ship died during recent ordeals. How is it that he survived?
Why, it was your ally, Malady, who spared me. She claimed that I might be of some use yet. Rather flattering to enjoy the favor of such a powerful being.
Interesting there that he recognizes how powerful Malady is, because she is indeed powerful. I think Gareth mentioned it. It's a spoiler if he didn't, and apologies for that, but Malady is actually half demon, which makes her incredibly powerful. Say I'd like to do some training if he didn't lose his supplies in the Hall of Echoes. I don't think he has anything particularly good here. Door to Eternity is really, really cool. But in general, I'm not doing summoning this playthrough. Black Shroud, also really cool. Suffocation and Blind? Eh. Living on the Edge is cool. Bone Widow, cool. But again, no summoning this playthrough. Bone Cage. I will take Bone Cage. And I'm going to look through and see whether he has any good wands. That's a good wand. Probably not worth 1,500 gold he's selling it for, though. Unfortunately. Earth, Air, and Wits is nice. That armor is fantastic. Finesse, 3 Constitution, Poison Resistance, and Summoning. I'm not going into Summoning, but it's a fantastic piece of armor. Shield here is a hell of an upgrade. Oof. That's probably worth the $2,000. Yeah, I think that's most definitely worth that. You tend to spend all of your money going into the start of this act, by the way. Alright. Excuse me. So I want to learn Bone Cage. I also probably want to equip this shield. What does my shield give me? Con and accuracy. And bouncing shield. Alright, let's swap that out and then give her this one, I think. Yeah, probably. I think that's better than blocking chance. That also gives her... I need to set up all these hotbars, so I'm going to do that now and I'll cut. I'll be back in a second. Alright, so we're back. I've changed some things up here. I got rid of one of my necro spells and instead put Bone Cage on here, which gives me a bunch of physical armor, and it will give you more physical armor the more corpses are around you, which is really cool. And for Losa, I dropped Bullhorns and instead have Worm Tremor, which will set an entangle on enemies that do not have magic armor. And what Entangle does, it holds them in place so they can't be teleported, they can't move themselves, they're rooted to the ground, and they also take poison damage each turn, which is really, really good after you get rid of poison damage. If you can get on a group of enemies, which for us is fairly easy because we can teleport people around, so we can teleport them all into a group and then Worm Tremor them, so we can keep them all in one spot. And then from there, we can just hammer them with spells. Should be really good. But anyway, let's get off the boat, shall we? There goes Tarquin. I believe there is... I want to go this way first, because there's a teleporting spot. Right here. A waypoint, I should say. I then kind of want to head out this way, I believe. There's not a whole lot out here. There's one little thing that I'm heading down here for, because there's a quest for it later. There's a shark here.
A dying shark lies gasping on the sand, bleeding from the mouth and gills. It turns its dark and soulless eyes to you. Its bloody gills open in search of water, but find only air.
Offer to drag it back into the water.
It gasps in the air, struggling for the breath to speak. Its own blood froths at its mouth.
No! Die here! Monsters in the water! Monsters in the deep!
Remark that its blood-stained teeth in the sea. It should have little to fear.
Monsters bigger! More and more growing!
Void woken. Offer to put it out of its misery.
It looks at you with its cold, flat eyes as if to say, do what you will. Then it turns away and gets back to drowning in the bloody sunshine.
Better than drowning, I guess. It has a bloody leg, a bone, piece of meat, and some teeth. Gonna do a little bit of inventory management here. Make these teeth worth a bit more. Combine. I just ate that. That's a shame. We put on this helmet, allows us to turn into an elf. And as I'm an elf, I can eat this leg.
A boy at swim. Your name is Joe. You're 9. You're brave. You're off to see your mum. A shadow moves below you. A jagged vice closes on your thigh and pulls you down. Water fills your lungs. Blood billows.
So this shark ate a young boy. Probably to be expected of a shark, really. They do tend to do that kind of thing. So there's void-tainted fish here. There is actually a reason to pick up a shitload of void-tainted fish, but I'm not too worried about it, to be perfectly honest. Essentially, you want to collect a bunch of them and then take them into the last act. It's a rather esoteric thing, and for the most part, I wouldn't worry about it. Essentially, you can make a lot of money in the last act by doing so. Quick. It's one of the few cutscenes in the game, actually. Annoying. So these guys don't have magic armor, which means I can show off Worm Tremor. We'll go like this. They're all entangled, which is good. As you can see, they can't move. There. It's pixel perfect that I could hit them on one thing there, which is kind of hilarious. Let's see. I'm gonna retreat back to here. Gives the added benefit of hasting me. And then for these guys... I'm also going to move back here. They're not going to be able to make it to me in this turn, so I'm kind of fine with that. Well, they're not going to be able to make it to me and attack. This one might be able to. Oh yeah. He was still in range. Interesting. But that should kill him. Oh. Well, I killed one of them. And then... we can see Bone Cage here. We have 212 armor. We now have 567 armor because of all those corpses. That's why Bone Cage is as good as it is. You can see that lasts three turns? Yes. So 3 turns and we have like over double our armor. It's kind of fantastic. It only costs 1 as well, which is really nice. I guess I mean, you're frozen, but I don't care taking hits here, because you're not going to get through my physical armor anyway. Really? I mean, he's nearly dead. Throw your shield at it. Sweet. There's a dead civilian over here. And a bunch of vicious voidlings, which I will loot. Vicious voidlings and volatile voidlings. The volatile voidlings are useful because they seem to be giving me fire essence, which is cool. High quality fire essence, even. So there's some source over here, interestingly. Which is useful because then Lucy can get some source. There's a dead bull and a bunch of disembodied body parts over here.
A Magister caravan. I remember one just like this. Could have been a shipment to Fort Joy. What this again?
Creepy music.
White as liquid salt, the dwarf flinches at your approach, yet she holds a short, clean blade aloft. Her fierce stance can't hide the trembling of her fingers.
Back! Get back! I'll kill you, just like the rest of them!
Recognize the signs of her current state. Tell her she's in shock.
She slumps, all bravado draining from her.
No. I've never seen anything like those beasts before. Are they gone?
Beasts? Does she mean Voidwoken?
Those? Yes. Worst ones I've ever seen. Ripped through the Magisters. The dwarves. Dead. And the sorcerers. Gone.
Sorcerers? There are no sorcerer bodies here. What happened to them?
Her eyes stare vacantly into the distance, glassy as marbles. It's not cold, yet her shivering is relentless.
I don't know. Oh, Duna's beard. Lohar. My boss Lohar will want to know what happened to them, but I can't remember.
Ask what she's doing here for this boss Lohar.
Helping sorcerers. We thought we could help them against the Magisters, but...
Raise an eyebrow. Surely she can remember what happened to the sorcerers.
No, I don't know.
Tell her to breathe. If she tells you what she remembers, you can help her.
Oh, Seven Sympathy. I saw those things, dragging the sorcerers along the cliffs, towards the Wrecker's caves. No more, it's gone.
She flinches at the slightest rustle of wind through the long grass. Terror in her eyes, she stumbles away from you.
Interesting. So they actually, the Voidwoken took the sorcerers, they killed everybody else, which is intriguing. There's a chest over here we picked up the key for, I believe. Indeed. Which means we no longer need the key, I can chuck it on top of there. Oops. Identify this. The only reason I identify these, by the way, even though I'm going to sell them, is they sell for more if you identify them first. Cool. I was keeping, essence somewhere. There we are. I knew I was keeping essence somewhere. Cool. We're coming up to very close to the end of this episode. One thing I essentially want to do first, which is make it into the town proper. Hello.
The kid is whistling an off-key tune as he strolls about shiftily. He raises an eyebrow at your approach, but says nothing.
That's the kid what he's up to.
Ain't up to how. Just looking for someone. Seen Ben Mesd.
Tell him that Nifn Ben Mesd is dead.
Ooh. Baron won't like that. Won't like that one little bit.
The kid shoves his hands in his pockets and ambles off, resuming his tuneless whistling.
That kid is actually part of Yvonne's story, which is kind of funny.
Get yourself in check, boy. I won't have you running off like Millicent and Tully. You'll just end up sliding down some Voidwoken's gross gullet, piece by piece.
The older-looking Magister notices your presence. He wipes his grubby hands downward across his greaves, as if to wipe away the grime, but instead smears more dirt onto them.
Halt, Scaleskin. What word do you bring?
Tell me you bring bad tidings. Dead magisters and dwarves at a wrecked caravan outside town.
His face goes pale, and his eyes open wide. The Magister that greeted you remains stiff, as if enduring a harsh wind.
The Voidwoken come.
Hush, Fedder. You may pass, Lizard. Dare say he'll be aching to leave before long anyway. But before you do, find Raymond, the White Magister. He'll want to know what you've seen. Be quick, mind. He's set to sail any moment.
He nods his head in the direction of the bridge, but offers no other instructions.
As long as you stay put.
That's the first we've heard of White Magisters. Most of them wear red, as you can see. Also, silent monks here, interestingly. So that's the first we've seen of White... Or first we've heard of White Magisters, I should say.
This town doesn't...
Raymond is over here, by the way. I, however, want to get into the middle of town so that I can get the fast travel point.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
There we go. And that's going to be it for this episode. So if you like the video, please leave a like. If you're not subscribed already, please consider subscribing. Whoops. And as always, thanks for watching, and I shall see you next time, where we're going to explore Driftwood a bit better. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.